Hey, everybody. Happy
Hello.
Friday. Maybe I should use my peanuts.
People have been showing up with different microphone facsimiles all over the internet since this started.
I keep doing it with my peanuts. Patty, what do you have?
A Powerade bottle.
Love it. Happy Friday, everybody. So happy to be here. What a crazy ass, wild week it has been. I feel like like a lot of people say, 2020, that they got 2020'd. I feel like I've been 2021'd.
Did it really stop? I think it's
Huh?
just all one big long decade. I think, you know,
I think that the
hopefully it
last
won't
week
continue.
was a decade.
I
The
hope it
last
won't continue.
the last week was definitely a decade. But it's all going, it's moving. Some amazing cool things coming on the horizon that I can't wait to announce fully. And I'm just really looking forward to it. So yeah. What's up in your world, Tish? What you working on?
I can announce lots of things.
Why don't you announce lots of fun things? Because I can't announce much of anything.
I've been previewing the intro reel for my book launch that happens on Sunday in Ermey, and I am so excited. Mariangela Viscotti Park, whom I'm a part of their village, she has, I think it's her that's created it for me because she's helping me put on the book launch. And I gave her, she asked me some questions, I gave her some information, and then she put something together. And I was like, do you think maybe we can? And what about? And now I think we've nailed it. It's perfect.
Oh, good.
So it's really exciting, but at the same time, after being on your team, I don't want to be that client that demands everything. And I don't want to be super pushy in what I want, but at the same time, it's really hard for me to let go of the reins because I've done everything myself to this point. I ask questions and I might get help along the way, but I can honestly say that 95 or more % of the work that I've done on developing my brand, website, blog, everything I work on is all thanks to my hard work. So for me to let go of the reins is huge for me. Really huge.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really excited to see what other people think of that little, it's less than a minute long, but it's just, I picked out the music.
That is so cool.
If you all aren't familiar with bensound.com, it has royalty-free music for your YouTube videos. And I picked out one of the free songs, and I when I go searching for something that is going to be a representation of me somehow on the internet or in my life or whatever, I usually take time to go through all of the options, or at least 3 hours worth in terms of picking colors for my brand colors. And then I start noticing that there's one that I keep comparing everything else to see if I like this better than that one. No. Do I like that one better than that one? No. And I just go through a system. And when I find when I decide that, okay, the reason I can't find one I like better is because that's the one I should go with, is usually how I make that decision. But it takes time to do all that. And it's so much fun. But book news, it is coming along. I know people are probably thinking I'm losing it because I'm still writing and it comes out on Sunday, but I know what I'm doing. It's coming out naturally, and that's what I need. I can't force it. And for it to have the message it needs to come out of me the way it organically needs to come out. And we're almost there. I'm in chapter 9. I predict 10 chapters. So we're getting there. I finally got through chapter 8. It kept sucking me back in.
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. And at one point I thought chapter 8 and 9 were 2 chapters in one that I had to separate, but I think I figured out how to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something in the writing process I've discovered over the years, is that I write and it doesn't always come out in chronological order, which means I have to move paragraphs around at times, or lines or whatever, to make it flow better for everybody else. Makes sense in my head, but not everybody else reads the same way I think. And I've got that done in chapter 8 to the point now, and I added more today. So I think it's finally ready to move on, get to the next one. But chapter 9 and 10 are where the fun comes back in. And it was a process. I was, there were certain things I covered, and then there were things left to cover. And I think I'm hitting all the things on my list as I'm writing away. I may
That's
be a
really
little
cool.
bit tired by Monday.
I feel you. I feel you 1,000%. Yeah,
But
I
the
had
book
somebody
is,
today who was asking me when I'm going to take a break, and I'm like, not right now, not yet. I haven't reached my goals. I've got things I need to do.
yeah.
I mean, I'm going to take a little bit of extra time this weekend, but yeah.
Did you happen to catch my wall today?
Uh,
I shared about something from Toastmasters last night.
oh,
And
no.
it was a really big coincidence, I thought. And so
Mhm.
I wrote about it and I shared it. But I can tell you here because not everybody follows me. So I'm in Toastmasters and we meet on Thursdays virtually. Yesterday, I had to do the inspirational moment. And
Mhm.
when I signed up, you pick a role, and somewhere during the week, I figure it out.
Mhm.
I mean, the week before last, I was doing table topics, and I sat there and listened to the first person speaking and wrote out the 6 questions for table topics, or 7 topics.
Oh, cool.
And, they were Halloween related because I decided to have fun. So, but I like to be a little more prepared, but the last couple of weeks I've been kind of pushing my limits
Right.
with writing a book and
I
doing
have
all
no
the things.
idea why that might be pushing your limits.
Doing all the things, that's how I roll. But
Mhm.
so, week before this one, I asked questions like, how has the song Thriller by Michael Jackson impacted your life? And
Mhm.
the other question that I thought was hilarious was, when was the last time you did the Monster Mash? So those kinds of things come out of my head randomly anyway.
Mhm.
And this time with the inspirational moment, I wanted to do something a little bit different and maybe make a little bit more of an impact with it. Because I've talked about dish creation, I've talked about music,
Mhm.
I've talked about different topics when I choose to do the inspirational moment.
Mhm.
And this week I shared, because I happened to be watching on one of my breaks, Maurice Bernard. Does that name ring a bell with you? This is how I did it yesterday too. I was like, no, what about Sonny Corinthos? Do you know that name? And it's okay. I was the only one in the room there yesterday too. But Maurice Bernard plays the character Sonny Corinthos on General Hospital.
Mhm.
He also has issues with mental illness himself, and he started a YouTube channel to interview celebrities in the industry and in sports and in different areas to try to normalize discussions around mental health,
Mhm.
mental illness, and issues related to that. So I thought it was really inspirational to watch him once a week, someone that I watch on TV, right? But it gets
Mhm.
better because last night for table topics, someone else had the topics, and someone usually picks a word every week. And the goal is, in your 2 minutes when you have to talk about your random table topic that you get assigned because you volunteer,
Mhm.
you have to include the word of the week. And
Mhm.
yesterday's word was hubris,
Mhm.
which arrogance
Mhm.
is basically what that means. And we had to tie in that word, which everybody kind of did, which was cool. So today, I decided to take a break, have my lunch, and watch General Hospital just because I haven't watched it in a couple weeks and I wanted to touch base. Because, you can kind of stay abreast of things with soap operas if you don't watch them every single day. I do get enjoyment out of them, but I don't have time to watch them every single day. So today I popped it on, and Sonny Corinthos, played by Maurice Bernard, stands
Mm-hmm.
at a hospital bed threatening this guy, and he asks him, "You ever heard the word hubris before?" And I lost it. He wasn't in our meeting yesterday, but he used the word of the day from the meeting where I talked about him.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that just hilarious?
It sounds impertinent or maybe insouciant.
There's something going on somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I really
Maybe we
like
broke
the
the
new
internet.
I like the new feature that comes along when you tag someone who is a celebrity,
Mm-hmm.
and it says, "Would you allow this person to message you privately?" Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I
I'd
always
be
say
up for it.
yes.
Okay, so y'all answer me this. What celebrity would you like to have message you privately?
Betty White.
Oh,
I'm a big fan of Betty White.
I'm kind of thinking Oprah. Betty White would be good too.
Oprah would be monumental.
What about you, Patty?
Oh my god, that's a tough question. I have a couple in mind. Okay. It's either Tiger Woods or Annika Sorenstam.
Okay.
Sports celebrities, they count. If they have
Yes.
that little blue check mark, you might get asked that question if you follow them and tag them.
Mm.
Wait, it's a new feature on Facebook? Is that where you're?
I've noticed it, yes.
Yeah, if there's a
And
business page, if you tag a business page, it basically asks you if you're willing to let them message.
because they may want to thank you, or they may want to share your post or something. It's meant, I'm sure, for a marketing standpoint, but it would be really cool to have someone famous in my inbox. Just saying.
Yes. Yes.
And I noticed it a couple of weeks ago when I went to see Serena Ryder. That option popped up with that as well. So, of course, I checked yes. But it's I was scrolling Twitter today because I was scrolling while I was supposed to be writing at times, and that happens because I need breaks for my brain to go, okay, now I focus on this. And I put a tweet up about the book launch and the party with the link and stuff. And I just tweeted at Twitter because I'm really not sure what the proper thing to do is, because sometimes I go to my wall and tweet and it's different. But this says at Twitter. I'm like, okay, let's see if I can get traction. And I put a tweet up. And then I went to see where it went. Scroll, 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 scroll. Oh, wait, where'd it go? And that happened 2 or 3 times. And I'm like, oh yeah, I see what they do here. Because if you put a post and you go looking for it and it's gone, but you see it for a second, then you keep scrolling and you stay on their platform and you keep looking. And I was thinking, because there was a hashtag I missed, and I was like, well, I could retweet it with a hashtag. And then, but no, I didn't bother. After I lost it the 3rd time, I'm like, I'm never going to get this book done if I'm scrolling Twitter. So off I went. But it's just, but as you're scrolling, you see scroll, 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 famous person, scroll, 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 famous company brand, and all these things are together and your face is in there in the middle of it. It's kind of cool. I don't know if anybody else has thought of that.
I probably am not really thinking much of anything. I mean, the lights are on and nobody's home right now.
Oh wow! You have the
Is
whole
that just
house
because
to
it's Friday?
yourself?
Huh?
You have the whole house to yourself?
No, that was a joke in English saying, I look like I'm here, but I'm really like brain dead.
Oh, I was about to say, like, no one's home on Friday.
I was just wondering, is that just because it's Friday and it's been a long week?
Oh, it's definitely been a decade this week.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I gotta turn off something here because that noise is probably distracting other people like me.
That's cool. Carrie says when Facebook was new, Matthew Fox friended me. He was the doctor on Lost. Oh, that's cool.
Nice. Yeah, I know who he is. He was on Party of Five too.
Yep. William Shatner is her buddy. That would be really cool. I would be totally into that.
That would be a really great conversation.
That would be an amazing conversation, right? And I had a friendship with Anne Rice for a few years. Oh,
I have heard other people having relationships with her, and the author community is really cool. I sent an email to my favorite author a couple of years ago and just about fell out of my chair when she wrote back.
isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it was really awesome. And you could tell it was her. It wasn't a canned message or anything, because it was just, they actually responded properly, and they weren't like, great, here's my next book, buy my next book. It was the first time I was really doing nano, and I was writing my first book, and I was sharing my experience. And, me being me, I said, hey, they have guest speakers in nano for inspiration every year. Do you think maybe you could do it this year? Because I'm in nano.
That's kind of
And
cool.
of course, I got the standard, well, I am rather busy.
Yeah.
But he did wish me luck and all that good stuff about my book, which was kind of cool.
Yeah. And Carrie says, I tried to friend Margaret Atwood, but she was not into it. Yeah.
She's Canadian, so yeah.
Yep.
She's Bob
Berg.
Berg.
I interviewed Bob Berg. I'm actually looking for the video.
Guess who set that up?
Yeah, Tish actually set up an interview with me with Bob Berg.
That was an adventure.
A couple of months ago. That was really, really flipping cool.
How did you get him? Is he a celebrity? You guys make him sound like it.
He is, absolutely.
He's a well-known author.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I'm going to post the YouTube link right here. Yeah, I mean,
the power of just asking a question. Try it and see what happens. Oh, that would be hashtag Tishspiration in action.
Hashtag Tishspiration. Yeah, right. I just thought it was so darn cool. But yeah, no, I will share that link again in the group and see. And here we go. So yes, this is hashtag Tishspiration.
In action.
Spell it correctly. Yeah.
TISHS. Everybody forgets that S. PIR.
Tishspiration. Yes.
Tishspiration. Everybody forgets
that. Did I spell it right?
You did.
Thanks.
I
tried.
Put up a graphic the first time, and a friend of mine used that word in social media without me prompting them. It was like, there was this cat, because cats in the internet.
Right. Yeah. Of course, this cat, right? Yeah.
No, that came about from sending out emails to ask people to be in the summit in September. And he responded. I think he responded himself first, and then his assistant responded after that
and
to
got
set things
him
up.
Scheduled. Yeah.
But the first response was, I don't do summits. I'm into these sorts of things, and podcasts and interviews, and that were the things he mentioned he was into. So I said, I wonder. And so I sent another email in response, and he agreed to an interview on YouTube with Haley. So that was pretty awesome.
And that's a really good example of you don't know until you ask. And the answer is always no until you ask. It was just, it was really one of those things where, you go after and you ask people if they'd like to be interviewed. I mean, the bigger your audience is, the more likely you are going to score those interviews with people or those speakers for particular opportunities.
There are times when I really just can't accept a straight no.
I like that.
And it's not in every situation, because sometimes the answer really is no. But sometimes there's a little bit of wiggle room that if you sneak back in, you might make somebody think, well, that's not the same thing. And they really want this. If you keep asking it, you might get a yes.
Right.
but it's
Really?
not the easiest thing to do either.
Mm-hmm.
I sometimes stew on things before I take that next step.
Yeah. Well, and I appreciate that stewing on things because sometimes you are really incredibly perceptive, with picking stuff up that might not otherwise be obvious.
It never stops.
Yep. Exactly. You never know.
Oh, send him this way.
Mm-hmm.
He would be great at the April summit on operations and finances, Carrie. So
Mm-hmm.
if you get anywhere, and if he's open to summits, send him this way. My husband actually knows of his work, and he has one of or two of his books on my bookshelf. That's my office bookshelf in my living room because my office is in a corner of my living room. And I have one where I read, but it's not the book I pick up the most frequently because finances and me are different animals. I'm more of the creative side instead of the hard numbers side of things. That's how my brain is wired. And he wanted me because I was becoming an entrepreneur and starting my own business and trying to figure all this out and understand where he was coming from with his dreams that we haven't even got close to yet. He wants to follow Robert Kiyosaki's method of using real estate to create your own bank account and build money that way. We're not even close to that yet, but it's something that I would like to help him fund at some point when I have success on my side. And something I believe in is, maybe it's a go-giver. I don't know, but I haven't read the book, but I do know that I believe in helping people when I can. So I don't know if that falls in with that philosophy, but that's something I want to do is like the pay it forward kind of stuff.
Yep, absolutely. Carrie, how are we even not connected on LinkedIn? Oh my gosh, how is this a thing? I try to connect to everybody on LinkedIn.
My profile, don't laugh too hard. I played and kind of lost interest, but I'll get back to it.
Oh. See, and you're even a second connection. How are you a second connection from me there? Because you should be, a first connection, or, well, I guess maybe you're connected to other people that are connected too. But yeah, I'm not going to send you an extra note. I'm just going to connect to you.
We're networking while we're hanging out live on Facebook. And when?
We are.
Think about this, people. Think about this. It's happening right in front of your eyes.
It is. We're like, oh my God, are we connected? Hey, I'm connected. We are now connected. Woohoo! Yay, Carrie. I'm excited.
Yeah, I really think that someone like Robert Kiyosaki, since Carrie brought him up, would be an amazing addition to the next WEN Summit. But that's a fish I got to get the fishing rod out for and see if I can land.
Could be worth it.
And I'm in that headspace right now where I was for the last summit of now I got to write an email and try to convince more people to come talk at Haley Summit. How am I going to do that? Where's my angle? Like, that's where I'm at right now because everything I do comes with an angle or a gimmick or something, right? If I want it to get traction and get attention.
Right.
And it's something that I want to keep doing. I enjoy it. I enjoy being creative and coming up with that. Yeah, that's the subject line I need. Or, when I'm writing in my book, it's like, oh, yeah, there's another quote. If you follow me, I've been putting quotes up in my personal page, my author page, and in the New Tishpiration page. That's linked to the New Tishpiration group. It's coming along. I like it. No dynamite, though. We want them to be okay. If you know about fishing, you know that if you throw dynamite in the water, they all pass out from the sound or whatever when it goes off and all the fish float to the top and you catch them. But we don't want to do that. We want to be nice.
She's muted.
You're muted. Are you talking to us?
I think
Or
we need a
JoJo?
flashlight and a pillowcase for this one. That's how you go snipe hunting. Who here has been snipe hunting? Y'all are probably going to wonder if I'm like sober at this point, if I start asking kind of some of these crazy ass random questions. I am totally sober, unfortunately.
We're hanging out.
We're
Yeah.
just hanging out. I really do have this kind of a goofy sense of humor. Yeah. Do we need a pillowcase or a net, a spotlight? I don't know.
So you might have noticed lately I've been getting water bottles. We don't have a Brita, but my water cooler that was in my living room office 2 weeks ago, happily running, decided it wanted to lose the water from the jug all over my floor. So I now have water bottles again
I'm sorry.
instead of a cooler. And
so
I know it's
sorry.
better for the environment to have a different source of water, but right now this is what we're doing. So I understand that I need to change when I can, and I will. But right now,
I need
this
to
is what
go
I'm
get a
doing.
new Brita for our foreign exchange student.
Yeah.
Put it in the fridge.
So that's why I'm
Yes.
chugging out of a water bottle. It's not because I am disrespectful to the environment. It's the hand I've been dealt right now. I have to deal with.
Yep, absolutely. So it is 9:35, and I know you have got to turn into a pumpkin.
Almost an Uber driver, except it's just for my husband.
Yeah, the Uber taxi.
Yep.
Sounds like a plan. So thank you guys for joining us tonight. Carrie, it is lovely to see you. Thank you for the commentary, and we will talk soon, y'all. Have a good night.
All right. Well, see you soon.
See you guys. Bye.